Krishna, Hare Hare. Yani Kani Japa Yani Kani Chapa Pani Brahmadani Kani Cha Dani Dani Panashanti Parishna Pade Pade. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Krishna.
Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Don't play the drum. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Gopi Janabalaba Girivardhati. Gopi Janabalaba Girivardhati. Yasodanandana Rajajana Ranjana. Yasodanandana Rajajana Ranjana. Jamuna Tira Manachare. Yamuna Tera Manachari. Jayaran Madhuva Kunja Bihati. Jayaran Madhova Kunja Bihati. Gopi Janabalava Girivardhari. Gopi Janabalava Girivardhari. Yasodanandana Vrajajana Ranjana. Yasodanandana Vrajajana Ranjana. Jamuna Tira Panachare. Yamuna Tira Panachade. Jayarandhu Madhava Kunja Bihati. Jayarandhu Madhava Kunja Bihati. Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahansa Paravitacharya Alsateta Satashi Shibad. His Divine Grace Abhaya Charanada Bhaktivedanta Goswami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. ISKCON Founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Anantakoti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai. Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. Prem Se Kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shidwaita Gadadha Shivasati Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopi Govardhan Sayam Mukunda Radha Kunda Giri Govardhan Ki Jai. Vrindavanam Ki Jai. Maturanam Ki Jai. Jagadath Sami Kajai Yamunamai Kajai. Shimati Lasi Devi Kajai. Samveda Bhakta Vrindi Kajai. Gaur Premananda Hari Hari Bo. All glories the assembled devotees. All glories the assembled devotees. All glories the assembled devotees. All glories to Shri Guru and Gauranga Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutale. Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Samariti Namani Namaste. Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pacharni Nivashesha Shanyavadi. Paschachate Chatarni. So we're reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, 10th Canto, 54th chapter, text 41. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Rajyasya Bhumer Vitasya Striyo Manasya Tejasa Manano Anyasya Va Heto Shri Madanda Kshipanti He Rajyasya Bhumer Vitasya Striyo Manasya Tejasa Mananonyasya Vageto Srimadanda Kshipanti Rajasya Bhumer Vitasya Striyo Manasya Tejasa Mananonyasya Vageto Srimadanda Kshipanti Rajasya Bhumer Vitasya Striyo Manasya Tejasa Mananonyasya Vageto Srimadanda Kshipanti. Okay. Bhumer Vitasya Striyo Manasya Tejasa Mananonyasya Vageto Srimadanda Kshipanti. Kshipanti. Bhumer Vitasya Striyo Manasya Tejasa Mananonyasya Vageto Srimadanda Kshipanti. Rajasya Bhumer Vitasya Striyo Manasya Tejasa Mananonyasya Vageto Mandata Kshipanti. Rajasya of kingdom, Bhume of land, Vitasya of wealth, Striya of a woman, Manasya of honor, Tejasa of power. Manana, those who are proud. Anyasya, of something else. Va, or. Heto, for the reason. Shri, in their opulence. Mada, by their intoxication. Anda, blinded. Kshipante, they commit insult. He, indeed. Translation. Again, Balaram addressed Krishna, blinded by conceit with their personal opulences. Proud men offend others for the sake of such things as kingdom, land, wealth, women, honor, and power. Please repeat. Again, Balaram addressed Krishna, blinded by conceit with their personal opulences. Proud men offend others for the sake of such things as kingdom, land, wealth, women, honor, and power. So purport by the followers of His Divine Grace, Srila Prabhupada. Lord Krishna was originally meant to marry Rukmini. All along, this was the best arrangement for all concerned, and yet, from the beginning, Rukmini had maliciously opposed this beautiful arrangement. When his sister's desire was finally fulfilled, and she was taken by Krishna, he viciously attacked the Lord with vulgar insults and mortal weapons. In return, Lord Krishna tied him up and partially clipped his hair and mustache. While certainly humiliating for a puffed-up prince like Rukmini, his punishment was a mere slap on the wrist considering what he had done. And then the commentaries, short commentaries, but Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, guessing that Rukmini would be thinking to herself, it may be true that a Kshatriya can kill his relative, but he should not disfigure him in a ghastly way. Balaram then speaks to Krishna to satisfy her. O Krishna, those who are proud abuse others in order to get kingdom, land, money, power, etc. But we should not do this. And Jiva Goswami, he again speaks harshly to Krishna to console Rukmini. Because of kingdom, land, worship, manasya, beauty, or strength, teja, and other things like food and drink, proud people who become blinded by pride and wealth cause destruction. Since persons blinded by pride and wealth, act in this way, we should not do this since we are not blind. So again, Rajasya bhumir vitasya striya manasya tejasa manino nyasya va heto shri madanda shipantihi so omagana timirandasya gananjana shilakaya chakshur unmiditam yena tasmai shi gurave namaha. So this particular theme of pride and arrogance and conceit and the fall down that comes about because of this is described in many places and many stories in the Vedic literatures. It's interesting. I mean, I wanted to see, yesterday I was looking up because of this verse, wanted to see where these particular stories are described. You know, pride comes before the fall. And I found literally almost hundreds of stories. So why is that? Because the caution is there that this pride not only causes us to stop or impede our spiritual lives, but this pride destroys our material lives too, and our relationships. So anyway, so first I'm going to read from 16.4 in the Bhagavad Gita. 16th chapter is the divine and demoniac natures. And this is an interesting verse. Pride, arrogance, conceit, anger, harshness, and ignorance, these qualities belong to those of a demoniac nature. So even though we may not be demoniac, sometimes demoniac qualities can arise because of our attachments to Janma Ishvarya Shudashiv Shibir as described by Queen Kunti, or the attachments to different opulences as described about the Supreme Personality of Godhead, like wealth, strength, renunciation we're proud of, fame, intelligence, and beauty. So there's many other things that people can be proud of. It's interesting. I mean, these are just limited lists. You know, we could be proud of our car. Of course, I guess that would be wealth, or proud of our temple or something like that. Of course, we should be proud of the Vaishnavas, but something that reflects on us, increases our false prestige, is an impediment in devotional service. So let me read the purport of this particular verse. In this verse, the royal road to hell is described. Interesting. The demoniac wanted to make a show of religion and advancement in spiritual science, although they do not follow the principles. They're always arrogant or proud in possessing some type of education or so much wealth. They desire to be worshipped by others and demand respectability, although they do not command respect. Over trifles, they become very angry and speak harshly, not gently. They do not know what should be done and what should not be done. They do everything whimsically according to their own desire, and they do not recognize any authority. These demoniac qualities are taken on by them from the beginning of their bodies in the wombs of their mothers. And as they grow, they manifest all these inauspicious qualities. So we have to be very careful ourselves. So I'm going to tell some stories of how pride comes before the fall, and these stories are quite interesting. As I said, there's literally hundreds of these stories. Of course, one of my favorite characters to talk about insofar as the topic of pride is concerned is Ravan. And I'm not going to talk about Ravan kidnapping Sita Devi. I have some other stories of how he manifested pride and didn't learn his lessons. Once upon a time, Ravan was bathing in the Narmada River. And as he was bathing in the Narmada River, he noticed that the current was slowing down. In fact, it was becoming dry. And he was wondering why this was happening. So he went a little upstream, and he discovered that this Karta Vira Arjuna was bathing, and Kartavira Arjuna, he had like 1,000 arms, and he was pushing the water upstream. So as he was pushing the water upstream, then downstream, there was no water in the river. And so Ravan got so angry, he challenged Kartavira Arjuna. Kartavira Arjuna immediately captured Ravan, because Ravan was so proud of his power. Of course, later on we'll hear a story about Kartavira Arjuna. Ravan was so proud of his power, prestige, that he got captured by Kartavira Arjuna, imprisoned. Finally, he had to make a deal with Kartavira Arjuna, and he was let free. Another time, Ravan wanted to attack Bali. Bali, of course, is not Bali Maharaj, but Bali, the brother of Sugriva. So he went to attack Bali and was sneaking up behind him and thinking himself so powerful, this pride. And Bali noticed him. Bali wound his tail around him. Bali put Ravan, what an embarrassing situation. Bali put Ravan under his armpit. Can you imagine? I mean, of all the places to be kept by someone, under the armpit is probably the worst place. And for a while, he flew around with Ravan there, So Ravana had a good smell at that particular point. So, and Ravan still didn't learn his lesson after that. Of course, he made a deal with Bali to be his friend. That's why Lord Ram had to eventually kill Bali so he could get the help of Sugriva. So Ravan still didn't learn his lesson. And so, going back to Kartavira Arjuna, so Kartavira Arjuna, he had like 1,000 arms and very proud, the power like that. And so he decided, when he visited Jamadagni's ashram, Jamadagni, of course, is the father of Parshuram. He decided that he was going to steal the Kamadhenu. Kamadhenu means the desire cow. So he stole the Kamadhenu of Jamadagni and brought the Kamadhenu to his palace. And Parshuram wasn't around at that particular time. When Parshuram came back, then Parshuram, because of this Kartavira Arjuna's pride in stealing this valuable Kamadhenu, he went to Mahishmati, which is I believe it was the city, and he killed Kartavira Arjuna. And of course, we know later on, Kartavira Arjuna's sons killed Jamadagni, Parashuram's father, and then Parashuram got so angry that he wiped out all these proud Kshatriyas, 21 generations, because of their false pride. Interesting story. So that's a story of false pride because of strength and power. And so that also mentioned in this particular verse is pride because of education. Shrutasya. That's also mentioned by Queen Kunti in her famous prayers, Janmaishvarya Shrutasya Shabir, Enamana Da Puman. So let's go to Lord Chaitanya's pastimes. So Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he gave some association to this devotee, Ballabhacharya, who is the founder Acharya for the Pushti Marg. And we'll find many followers of Pushti Marg in Vrindavan today. So this Ballabhacharya, he was very proud of his learning. So what did he do? He came to Jagannath Puri and he started to instruct Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and his associates even about chanting the holy name. What he said was completely obnoxious and contrary to the Yuga Dharma because of his very pride. Because he was taking one Vedic injunction. The Vedic injunction is the wife should not take or say the husband's name. Generally, the wife should say Prabhu or Swami or something like that. Pati Dev, something like that. So he went to Lord Chaitanya's associates, and Lord Chaitanya happened to be there at the same time. And he said to them, basically, we shouldn't take Krishna's name because Krishna's Swami. Krishna is the husband, Purusha, and the rest of us are Prakriti. And so he challenged the devotees like that in their chanting of the holy name of Krishna. It's interesting because he's so proud. And then Lord Chaitanya responded, even though this comment was not directly addressed to Lord Chaitanya responded that actually the husband's order has first priority. And the husband's order, that is Krishna's order, is to always chant. Satatam kirtiyanto mam yatantas cha janavartai namasyantas chamam bhakya nitya yuktupasate. Always chanting the glories, chanting Krishna's name. And that's, in the Vedic literature, it's mentioned many places, not just by Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And then Ballabhacharya directly challenged Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu one time because of his learning. He said, I have written a commentary on the Srimad Bhagavatam in which I basically found fault in Sridhar Swami. Sridhar Swami, of course, is the original commentator on the Srimad Bhagavatam, and Prabhupada consulted his particular commentaries when writing his Bhaktivedanta purports. And so then Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu made a play on the word Swami. Swami means, as we described before, it can mean husband. But he said, one who disrespects the Swami is a prostitute. So he is basically calling Balabhacharya a spiritual prostitute. So Balabhacharya, eventually, he understood and came to his senses. But the Lord does this. The Lord arranges things for his devotees and for non-devotees. So if they're proud of anything, learning, strength, family, Krishna takes it away. You know, what is that? Yeshaham anagranami hari shade tadanam shanai. Of course, that refers to devotees. And then, of course, there was the other incident of the Digvijay coming and challenging Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and getting defeated by Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And then going back to the Bhagavatam, then we have the story of, many stories of Indra getting proud. Indra was perceiving that Prithu Maharaj was performing or trying to perform 100 horse sacrifices. And Indra, in order to stop these 100 horse sacrifices, kept stealing the horse and even assuming different guises as bogus sannyasis. And eventually Indra gets chastised because of that. Indra also with the whole Govardhan pastime, where Indra was thinking, you know, who is this puny little boy? These residents of Vrindavan, they're puffed up on account of this puny little boy. We're going to teach them a lesson. You know, such pride because of power. So we have to apply this to ourselves, too, because we're proud of different things, you know, even though we're basically paupers in the sense of opulence. You know, opulence or beauty or anything like that. I mean, comparison, whatever beauty we have, of course, old age is another thing. But whatever beauty we have, the time factor takes away. Whatever beauty we have is nothing in comparison to the higher planets, and their beauty is nothing in comparison to the spiritual resonance in the spiritual world. And that another story of pride was when Krishna came to try to make peace between the Kauravas and the Pandus as a sort of peacemaker. Duryodhana, he was thinking he was so powerful, he could imprison Krishna. So he tried to chain up Krishna. Of course, at that particular point, Krishna manifested his universal form. And Duryodhana, he didn't learn the lesson. Even after that time, Duryodhana did not learn that he should surrender and allow the Pandavas their rightful position. And a very interesting story. Actually, there's so many stories about this false pride. If you go over Prabhupada's books and other Vedic literatures. Then there's the story of false pride, mystic powers. You have Maharaj Ambarish, who's observing this fast for 40 some odd days. And he's supposed to break the fast. Meantime, Durvasa Muni comes. And Durvasa Muni is supposed to be received, and the host is not supposed to take prasadam or drink or do anything before taking care of the guest. So Durvasa Muni goes to take his bath, and Maharaj Ambarish is supposed to break his fast at that particular point. So he consults with all of his ministers and Brahmins, and he decides that he should drink water, which is breaking the fast, and not breaking the fast simultaneously. I guess it's the Ekadasi Purana, like we have in ISKCON. You know, it's timed to an exact time. So he was very concerned with that exact timing. So he drank water. Durvasa Muni was thinking, because of his pride, I am a great Muni, great mystic yogi. Of course, he's even an expansion of Lord Shiva. He's empowered by Lord Shiva. He's not just a regular yogi. And so he tries to kill Maharaj Ambarish. You know, he pulls out some of his hair. I can't do that. Pulls out some of his hair, and a demon comes. And the demon, not exactly a demon, but some big, powerful entity. Don't want to offend that particular entity. Comes out, and this particular entity, whether it's a demon or not, is burnt to ashes by Krishna's Sudarshan Chakra disc. And then the Sudarshan Chakra disc starts to chase Durvasa Muni all over the place. So eventually, of course, he does take shelter at the lotus feet of Maharaj Ambarish. And he learns his lesson. Durvasa Muni actually learned his lesson at this particular point. And then, of course, I don't have time to tell all these stories that I have noted down. Then there's the Daksha Yagya, where Daksha is so proud he gets angry because Lord Shiva didn't pay him respect. And that basically, to make a long story short, it actually causes him to have a goat head. Goat head. I mean, there's many things that happen in the meantime. It's not that immediately he gets a goat head. What happened eventually after all this fighting between the Brahmins and the followers of Lord Shiva is that Daksha's head is cut off in the guillotine. And because his head has been cut off and burnt, he has to continue performing the sacrifice after the whole fight is over. And all they have for him is a head of a goat. And they put a goat head on top of his shoulders, and he's performing the sacrifice. So definitely his pride gave him some trouble there. And then he died, and he had to take birth again. And one final story, and then I'm going to talk about how to cultivate humility. So I think that's important too. Then another story about Indra. Okay, Krishna was asked by Indra to recover the earrings of Aditi, which Bhaumasura had taken. And Bhaumasura also had kidnapped these 16,100 girls. And so Krishna went with Satyabhama on the back of Garuda. And Krishna eventually killed Bhaumasura and got the earrings, brought them back to Indra. And he brought them back to Indra. And Indra was very happy, or to Sachi, Indra's, not Sachi, but Aditi, Indra's mother. Indra was very happy. And then Satyabhama, she asked for a parijata tree. And then Krishna takes a parijata tree from the heavenly planets, because previously Rukmini had gotten a parijata flower. So Satyabhama was a little jealous. Don't want to say envious, but jealous. And so then Indra and the demigods, they attack Krishna, thinking that they're so powerful, and of course they get defeated. So anyways, so many stories. You can go through the Vedic literatures and hear so many stories about how pride comes before the fall. So how can we cultivate humility? That's the point. And we find in the Shikshashtika, which we chant every morning, there's one verse about humility. Text 3, Trinadapi Sanichena, Paroapi Sahishnuna, Amanina Amanadena, Kirtaniya Siddhahari. Then one must consider oneself lower than the straw in the street, devoid of all sense of false prestige, ready to offer all respects to others. And in such a state of mind, one can actually chant the Hare Krishna mantra properly or continually. So this is an essential quality that we have to develop. So I was trying to understand how to develop this particular quality and not have Krishna smash me like he's done with all these other personalities that we mentioned. So I consulted Bhaktivinoda Thakur's commentary on the Shikshashtika. It's called the Sri Samodhana Bhashyam, which is a beautiful commentary on the verses of the Shikshashtika. And I'm going to read some of his statements. The devotee who chants the holy name offenselessly is adorned with 4 special qualities: a natural meekness. It's interesting, the statement, meekness, because Prabhupada, of course, when we were advised us to preach like a lion and at home to be like a lamb. So in other words, for preaching, and we see this in His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada, he was like a lion when he was preaching. But if you hear about his personal interactions, like with his servants and everything like that, it was very sweet. So natural meekness and humility because of his complete detachment from matter. A pure compassion unencumbered by envy. A spotless heart free from mundane false prestige. And a respectful attitude towards everyone. And then he goes through the different qualities. Humbler than a blade of grass. When the holy name, which is the absolute embodiment of transcendental ras, appears in a devotee's heart, setting him up to abhor anything mundane, he begins to think, I am constitution, here's the key, an infinitesimal and eternal servant of Lord Krishna. I have no need for material life. Alas, because I've estranged myself from the Lord, I find myself strapped to the wheel of birth and death, suffering untold miseries. By the grace of my Guru and all the Vaishnavas, I have come to realize that only by devotional service to the Supreme Lord can I find release from this dilemma and become reinstated in my original constitutional position and spiritual identity that leads to attainment of love of God. Therefore, as long as I am not freed by the Lord's mercy from the chains of material bondage to go through life, I must embrace the path of yukta vairagya. Yukta vairagya means to use things in this world, understanding to whom they belong and for that particular person. That's Krishna, of course. And together with sambandha gyan, sambandha gyan means also understanding what this material energy is, what the spirit soul is, what Maya is, what the spiritual energy is. Somebody accept only enough matter for my bare necessities. This is the key too. To accept only enough matter for my bare necessities, just to keep my body and spirit together. The misery stemming from poverty, disease, calamity, old age, etc., and happiness due to wealth, health, beauty, here's the qualities, education, etc., are all prarabdha karmic reactions which I shall inevitably have to experience. Loss and gain, birth and death, suffering and joy are in no way connected to spiritual life. Rather, they are wholly mundane, thus inconsequential to my real life. I will therefore approach the Lord with utmost humility and pray, O Krishna, O Govinda, O Lord of my heart, when will I be engaged in your divine service? Kindly be merciful upon this lowly creature and quickly accept me as your servitor. In this mood, I shall either enter the forest or remain home. Living frugally, I shall somehow or other sustain my life. Although grass is matter, its ego is natural and proportionate to it, whereas my false ego, made up of gross and subtle bodies, is utterly illusory because it is not connected to my original spiritual self. It is only proper, therefore, that I become more humbler than a blade of grass. So we don't have any more time to read. There's quite a bit more Bhaktivinoda Thakur's. So request the devotees if they can get a copy of this. It's in the Veda base. This is in the Veda base. If you can get a copy of this, then it's Bhaktivinoda Thakur's Sanmodana Bhashyam. It's his commentary on each verse has a commentary. So this is the commentary on the Trinadapisa Nicheda Thuro Eva Sahishana Amanina Manadena. So to understand the Shikshashika, it's actually very important to read this commentary on all the verses. But this particular topic today is the topic of humility and not being proud of our learning, prestige, possessions, and everything like that. So, time. Any quick questions while we have time? What? It's in the database. Just look at in the database. Just look in the database. It's available online if you have an online database. It's available in works by the previous acharyas. Yeah.
Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami. Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami. Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami. Enam Kanvanta Maravindanalaya Taksham Varhavatam Samasitam Buddhasundarangam Kandar Bhagom Vikamaniya Vishesha Shobham. Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami. Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami. Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami. Angani Yasa Sakalen Priya Priti Manti Vasyanti Panti Kayanti Jiram Naganti Ananda Chinmaya Sadhu Jala Vigrahasya Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami. Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami. Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami. Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami.
Amen. Namakom Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namandaya Namaste, Chakrati Deve, Guramani Sha, Nege say Sha, Sunivati, Matsachagat, Desatan Day. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Koji Advaita Gadada Siva Sati Gaur Bhakta-vrinda. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadada Siva Sati Gaur Bhakta-vrinda. Say Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadada Siva Sati Gaur Bhakta-vrinda. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, 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 Hare Hare. Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Goloka nana, Goloka nana, Goloka nana, Goloka nana, hey. Jaya Radhe, Jaya Radhe, Radhe, Jaya Radhe. Jaya Radhe, 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 Jaya Radhe. Jai Om Vishnu Pad.
Pratipanam pranamrita svadanam sarvatmasnapanam param vijayate Shri Krishna Sankirtanam nam namakari bahuda nija sarva shaktis tatrapitani amita smarane nakala etadrishita vakripa bhagavan mamapi Dordaiva Midrishami Hajjani Nanuraga Trinadapi Sunichena Tarorapi Shana Amani Namana Dena Kirtaniya Sadahari Nadanam Najanam Nasundarim Kavitam Vajagadisha Kamaye Mama Janmani Janmani Ishvare Bhavatad Bhaktir Hoitaki Twai Ainanda Tanuja Kinkaram Patitam Mam Vishame Bhavam Buddha Kribayata Vapada Pankaja Stita Duli Sajashim Vachintaya Nainam Galadashru Daraya Varanam Gadgadaridaya Gira Pulakarnishitam Vapukada Tavanama Grahane Bhavishyati Yugayatam Namishena Chakshusha Pravashayatam Shunayatam Jagat Sarvam Govindam Virahename Ashlishyavapadam Nastumam Adarshanam Marmahata Karotuva Yatatatava Vedadatulam Pato Mat Prananatastu Saeva Napara. Victory to the Sri Krishna Sankirtan, which cleanses the heart of all the dust accumulated for years and extinguishes the fire of conditional life of repeated birth and death. This Sankirtan movement is the prime benediction for humanity at large because it spreads the rays of the benediction moon. It is the life of all transcendental knowledge. It increases the ocean of transcendental bliss, and it enables us to fully taste the nectar for which we are always anxious. O my Lord, congregational chanting of your holy name alone can render all benedictions living beings, and thus you have hundreds and millions of names like Krishna and Govinda. In these transcendental names, you have invested all your transcendental energies. There are not even hard and fast rules for chanting these names. O my Lord, out of kindness you enable us to easily approach you by your holy names, but I am so unfortunate that I have no attraction for them. One should chant the holy name of the Lord in a humble state of mind, thinking oneself lower than the straw in the street. One should be more tolerant than a tree, devoid of all sense of false prestige, and should be ready to offer all respect to others. In such a state of mind, one can chant the holy name of the Lord constantly. O Almighty Lord, I have no desire to accumulate wealth, nor do I desire beautiful women, nor do I want any number of followers. I only want your causeless devotional service, birth after birth. O Son of Raras Nanda Krishna, I am your eternal servitor. Am I, or rather, I fall in the ocean of birth and death. Please pick me up from this ocean of death and place me as one of the atoms at your lotus feet. Oh, my Lord, when will my eyes be decorated with tears of love, flowing constantly when I chant your holy name? When will my voice choke up, and when will the hairs of my body stand on end at the recitation of your name? Oh, Govinda, feeling your separation, I am considering a moment to be like 12 years or more. Tears are flowing from my eyes like torrents of rain, and I am feeling all vacant in the world in your absence. I know no one but Krishna as my Lord, and he shall remain so even if he handles me roughly by his embrace, or makes me brokenhearted by not being present before me. He is completely free to do anything and everything, for he is always my worshipful Lord unconditionally. Shri Shastika Ki Jai.